Hey man, how are you?
Hello, mate. How you doing?
I'm okay, man. It's just really hot on a Sunday, so
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. Yeah.
yeah, man, let's get the ball rolling. Okay, India, West Indies. I did call it 3-0, and nice to see a real captain at work after seeing the prowess of Rahul in South Africa. So that was nice. And yeah, Prasidh Krishna, man of the series. That's great. And Shreyas Iyer, man of the match. And these two. One has gone to KR, Shreyas Iyer, and Prasidh Krishna has gone to in the auction. Your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, let's not take anything away from India. They were superb. Let's give them due credit. I thought Rohit's captaincy was superb in the series. The way he rotated his bowlers around. But the sad part about the series is the Windies didn't bowl too badly. They were actually
Hmm.
fantastic with the ball,
Hmm.
and it was really the batting
Hmm.
was really so appalling series from them that they really couldn't contribute.
Yeah.
But I mean, the bowlers bowled their hearts out. I mean, in every single
Hmm.
game. I mean, even in the first game when they got skittled out for 176, the bowlers still fought, and they managed to get 4 wickets. And I mean, the last two games, they were sensational with the ball. They were sensational with the ball, and the batting just fell apart. The batting just
Hmm.
fell apart in both games, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was sad because if I look at the series 3-0, yeah, it's not really flattering, but in that second game, especially the Windies had their chances. They really should have won that game. I mean, chasing 237 with 300
Hmm.
300 balls.
Hmm.
In modern day cricket, that's chalk and cheese.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
you it's just a matter of two innings, and and
Hmm.
and you and I just felt the tail enders tried their best, but the middle the
Hmm.
top order really they should be discussed with their performance in the series because I think they were so poor. I mean,
Hmm.
numbers 1 to 5, the averages were pretty ordinary, and
Hmm.
I think the tail enders they actually batted a little bit better in the series
Hmm.
than the Windies top order, which is a real concern for them going forward. Hey, because I do think they don't have a very bad. They have quite a decent bowling attack, and they can restrict teams. But I mean, the batting they've got a long way to
Yeah.
go in terms of their batting and trying to score substantial runs in one day cricket. And
Hmm.
I just feel they've lost the art of playing one day cricket. I feel because I mean, if you look at the both scores that India scored in the last two games, I mean, it just
Yeah.
takes old fashioned one day cricket to get over the line. And I
Yeah.
mean, rotating the strike, take your ones, take your twos. When the bad
Yeah.
ball comes, you wait. I mean, it's
Problem
just
is,
old fashioned concepts of the game. I mean, the basics of the game. So I would
hmm.
say the fundamentals of the
Yeah.
game that they just went missing in the series for the Windies. But yeah, I mean, another series win for India at home, and I mean, the last time they lost was 2019. So I mean, it's not an easy side to beat at home in those conditions, and yeah,
Hmm.
well played to them.
But don't you think those pitches were not really the best pitches to really be free flowing on? The problem is with today's teams, 50 overs game has now become like a 50 overs T20. It's not become like the good old days where 50 overs where, as you just mentioned about the ones and the twos, everyone wants to take boundaries most of the time. And on these pitches, it's not easy. I mean, in England, you could get away with that kind of strategy, especially if the pitches are damn flat. Although, I mean, the pitches are like this in the World Cup. And then to be honest, I don't mind these pitches because it's more fairer. Nowadays, I'm so tired of these 400 run scores that I don't mind these types of pitches. But although I did say I wasn't happy with them in a way because kind of 250, 260, kind of, I don't know. What do you think? I think the pitches might have played their part in with India not performing, but then that would be a bit of an excuse. So I'm happy for India. They needed this because South Africa was really bad.
Okay, I go back to my prediction of 2-1, and
Mm-hmm.
this series could easily have been 2-1 to India. I mean, I backed the Windies to win one game, and the second game, they should have won that game, like I said. But I mean, going back to the pitches, I mean, yeah, the pitches were difficult, but I mean, nothing out of the ordinary. I mean, these are players that have played countless one-day games, and I think it's just down to application. At the end of the day, I mean, yeah, I guess there's a few Windies players that really unsure if they're going to have a future in this one-day side, because I mean, I really do feel they need to go back to how one-day cricket needs to play, and I think this boundary hitting, it's good entertainment, but it's not going to win you games, eh? It's really not going to win you games. You still gotta apply yourself and wear down the opposition. And one-day cricket, when you wear down the opposition, you win the game. And that's exactly what India in with the bat. I mean, those totals are not very. Those totals were par totals. I'd say below par in some regards, really below par totals, and they ended up winning both the games because the Windies batting was so appalling in the series. So they really have to go back to the drawing board. And I think this T20 format, they really are competitive in it, but it feels like it's hampering their one-day game as well, where they're trying to play too many shots. And T20 is a totally different format. There's a totally different mindset that you have in T20 compared to one-day cricket, and it's going around where teams. I mean, if you look at the good sides, I mean, they still play one-day cricket the way it should be played. Teams like South Africa, teams like India, teams like Australia, England to an extent, they really go at it hard. I mean, we know they really go at it hard, but I think they still keep the fundamentals going.
And also England, I think, to an extent. Yeah, England also.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the elite sides, they still have a way of playing one-day cricket, and that is how it should be played. So I think T20 cricket is good for run rates. It's really boosted the one game in terms of the variety of shots that you can play these days. I mean these ramp shots, you really didn't see these ramp shots in years gone by. You know, these sort of flicks to third man. You know, these shots have come out of T20 cricket. So T20 cricket has obviously benefited the one-day cricket, but I still think the old-fashioned fundamentals of taking your ones, taking your twos, building an innings is still key in winning one-day matches, and the Windies got to go back to that because, I mean, it's all in good entertainment, but you're not going to win many games, and you're really not going to move up those rankings. And if you don't move up those rankings, you're not going to get an automatic place at the World Cup. You're going to end up qualifying, and I mean, the Windies carry on like this. I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but I can see them playing in that qualifying unless they get their act together and get a few series under their belt, a few wins. That's what they need. They need a bit of confidence, but they really need consistency as well in that batting lineup.
I don't think it'll be a bad thing for them if they go to qualifiers. It'll be a good kick up the backside. And then the reason why I went for the 3-0 prediction was because Rohit Sharma was captain. If KL Rahul was captain, I would have seen 2-1 coming. It could also gone the other way. I mean, KL Rahul's captaincy is so brilliant that I think they could even have lost the series 2-1. And the T20 series, 3 games, I think India will win this one 2-1. I'll give 1 to West Indies here. Could also be 3-0, but I think West Indies will be a lot better than the T20 series. I'll give it to India 2-1.
Oh, well, the ODI series, and I would say this is a little bit more competitive because this is Windies' game, man. I mean, they're just coming off a good series win against England, and I mean, India at home, they really are a formidable outfit. And what really impressed me in the series was some of the younger players that really stood up. Was the likes of Shreyas and Surya. I thought Surya Kumar batted exceptional in the series, especially in the first 2 games. And a guy like Huda, I think he's quite a handy cricketer, to have in this team. So I think he performed well with the bat. And I think a few senior players didn't really have good games in this series. The likes of I'm not sure what's up with Kohli. I think I really do feel Kohli needs a bit of a break, Sid,
Mm.
because I think he's been playing non-stop, and I
Yeah.
think he needs that bit of break to recharge those batteries and get back,
Mm.
to the player that he once was. Because
Mm.
I think we could see a bit of a burnout there at the moment, and yeah, I mean, Rishabh Pant is Rishabh Pant. I mean, this is what he's going to give you. He blows hot and cold, and when it comes off, it
Mm.
comes off good. When it
Mm.
doesn't look too. So yeah, I mean, I think it was more about experimenting in the series, and I think
Mm.
India got what they needed from the series in terms of trying to build depth in squad depth, and yeah, pretty comfortable in the end for them.
Okay, let's get down to Australia, Sri Lanka. They're playing the best of five T20s. They won the first one by 20 runs with the Duckworth-Lewis method. Australia made a par total 149 for 9, Sri Lanka 122 for 8. Seems like Australia is really getting about that, the match. So good stuff for Australia.
Yeah, it was a great start, but I mean, this was a pretty disappointing game to watch if you were neutral, because I mean, Sri Lanka, they really came back superbly with the ball in this game. Because I mean, at one stage the Aussies were really going high. They were really going full tilt, and we were looking at a 180, 190, which was obviously would have been beyond most teams
Mm.
in the chase. But I'm restricting the Aussies to 149 and almost bowling them out. And I thought Sri Lanka were really disappointing with the bat set. I have to be honest. I really
Mm.
thought it was something that's gettable. And yeah, I mean, just like the Windies, they let their bowlers down again. Yeah, I mean, they really let their bowlers down. Uh, I just feel the Sri Lankan side is quite a young side if I look at it, and I
Mm.
do think they need a bit of time to really gel together and become a unit that's really competitive and compete with the best sides. But I mean, that Australian bowling attack is really threatening as well. I mean, in those conditions, I mean,
Mm.
they really showed their mettle there with the likes of Cummins, Hazelwood, and I mean Zampa. I mean, I was surprised yesterday at the auction that he actually went unsold, because I think Zampa is one of the most improved bowlers in the world at the moment in terms of spin bowlers, and I was a little bit surprised that he went unsold at the auction. Very surprising for me, but I think that's another conversation for another day, because I mean we can go on and on about that auction, but I think we need to leave that for a separate show. But Australia was superb with the ball. Australia were really superb with the ball. They never really let Sri Lanka get away, and yeah, signs were really ominous for them when they lost those quick wickets, in the early stages. So yeah, I mean, it's really going to be a tall order for them. I think they do have the capabilities to win at least one or two games. But I mean, let's hope for the best. I mean, we want to see a competitive series, so let's hope we get
Mm.
that. But Australia looking really strong at the moment in home conditions.
Oh, yes. Okay. So the final segment is South Africa, New Zealand, and the first match is on the 17th, which is actually on a Thursday, I think. So I'm looking forward to this series, even though it's sad, it's only two matches, and that's the only tour for two matches. So, okay, I think South Africa to win this 1-0. But if the pitches are dry, as I did mention, I think it could be a drawn series. So I think it's all down to the pitches, eh?
Absolutely. I think it's down to the pitches. I mean, losing Keegan Peterson was a real blow for the
Hmm.
Proteas. I mean, he was so superb
Hmm.
against India. But I think this is an opportunity for another player, which I think. I mean, I wanted him in the side for quite some time, because I mean, Markram's form wasn't really up to scratch, and I think Sarel Elvia is going to get his chance now at number 3, and I think he's been carrying drinks for far too long. I
Hmm.
still feel bad for Ryan Rickelton, because I mean, I think he's also a talented player and he deserves a chance at some point. But he's pretty young, so I'm sure he will get his chance at some point. But yeah, I mean, this is a fascinating series, sir. I can't wait for this one. I think the
Mm.
Proteas perform well at home, but I think they need to prove to the world now that they can win it away as well. And who better than the World Test champions, the Black Caps, who have been superb at home, and
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna go out to try and break this winning run that has been quite superb since 2017. They haven't lost a Test series, and I just want to give you a stat: the last team to beat them at home was actually the Proteas in 2017.
Yeah, I remember
So
that. Yeah. Mm.
yeah, so I mean, if I look back at history, I mean, both these teams have been playing Test cricket since 1932, so that's a 90-year rivalry. We don't really see this rivalry too often, and I think we need to see it more often because I think it's quite an interesting rivalry because both teams are quite even in the way they play in terms of their bowling lineups and batting as well. Uh, well, the Proteas have been dominant in the past. Let's be
Yeah.
honest; they've really
Yeah.
dominated this fixture in terms of Test match cricket, but. We go back to the Black Caps. I mean, this is a golden generation for them. Let's be honest. I mean, this is
Mm.
the golden generation of red ball cricket for New Zealand. And
Mm.
I think first thing I got to do is get my alarm ready, and I need to get a nice flask of coffee because the time zones really going to test me in this one here. I mean, start of play is at midnight SA time. So I mean,
Yeah.
geez, really going to be this is really going to test me, but I think it's going to be a fascinating watch. So I really can't wait, and it's so tempting. It's really so tempting to
Yeah.
follow the series, and yeah, I'm quietly confident in the Proteas' chances in the series because I think the bowling
Yeah.
attack is quite competent,
Mm.
and
Mm.
I, I guess I mean I'll go back to the India series. It's all about who bats better at the end of the day because I think both bowling lineups are quite superb. New Zealand and the Proteas, and I think if the Proteas
Mm.
can dig deep here and get a good first innings total, I think they can put pressure on the Black Caps. And I
Definitely.
mean, who knows? You lose one quick wickets and you can trigger a collapse. So yeah,
Yeah. There's no
I mean
Kane
I very
Williamson, so they are vulnerable there.
absolutely, and Bangladesh showed that. And I'm hoping for a bit of grass on those pitches because I think the grass will help the Proteas. So
Definitely.
I'm hoping there's going to be a little tinge of green here, so something to work with. And I think our bowlers can make merry on those wickets if it is. But
Definitely.
the last thing I want to see is something that's too flat because if it's going to be flat, I think in all likelihood you're going to get two teams that are just going to be trying to cancel each other out, and that's what we want. We want a result series, and I think we're going to
I
get
don't
that. I
think it'll
think
be.
we're going to
I don't
get a
think it'll be
result
flat. I
series.
think they might just be dry. They might just be dry pitches. I mean, that'll be suit New Zealand better. I remember that final Test match where we really escaped because of the rain. So I think that'll be New Zealand's best chance of winning the series. But don't know if we're gonna have dry pitches. I think we're probably gonna have grassy pitches. Maybe the first one might be a grassy one. Then the second one will go to dry. So who knows what's gonna happen?
Yeah, I mean it's going to be a really tough series. Let's make no illusions here. I mean we've got to take those blows. We've got to we've got to do the hard yards. We've got to make tough runs like we did against India. And I think the Proteas bowling lineup is the one thing that can keep them in this game. And I really do hope Markram comes good in the series because I think he owes us a big score. Finally, he owes us a big score. And I mean, Elgar has been superb. Bavuma has been superb.
Hmm.
Rassi, I think this could be the makings of Rassi as a test player. So yeah, I mean the batting is a little bit of a concern for me. It always is, but
Hmm.
you know, uh, it's going to be a competitive series. But yeah, I'm going with my heart here, and I'm predicting a 1-0 for the Proteas. And I mean 2-0 would be fabulous, but I mean the Black Caps are a better side than that, so I'd go 1-0. I'd be happy with a 1-0.
Yeah, yeah. You know what's funny though about the series? Before the India series happened, I thought New Zealand, if they came to South Africa, they would have the best chance of beating them. But if they're saying South Africa beat India, I believe South Africa will beat. New Zealand this time, even in New Zealand, because I think if the pitches are green, our bowlers will enjoy it. I think the batting will be fine. New Zealand pitches are far better than our pitches, with due respect to us. So I think we should win that series, and I'll also go with you on 1-0.
Yeah,
So,
I think the one thing that really hampers New Zealand, and I think really compared to other teams, that I think the one thing that New Zealand have lacked, you know, for a long time is a quality spinner who can really take wickets. You know, wicket taking spinner that can really that can be a wicket taker sort of thing. They've had these good fast bowlers, but I think I would say that they really needed a bowler that can really, you know, that can hold up and in. But I mean, let's take nothing away from Jas Patel. I think he was superb in India, and I just got that series. Either the first or the second test, they'd want to throw him here and test the Proteas out. But I think if conditions are fair and the pitches are fair, I see the Proteas winning this 1-1.
oh, sorry, you got cut off there?
Yeah, I was just saying, if the pitches are fair, I can see the Proteas winning this 1-0. So it's all down to the pitches at the end of the day. I mean, we called it, and yeah, I don't think we're going to get anything out of the ordinary. I think we're going to get New Zealand pitches that we've experienced in the past, and I think if the Proteas play the way they played in the past, they should get over the line here, 1-0.
Okay.
And what's good about the series is you're playing in the same venue. So I mean, even if you don't get it right in the first test, you can get it right in the second test. So I mean, it's room for improvement in any case. And I mean, I'm also not writing off a drawn series as well, 1-1. Although I'll be a little bit disappointed with that. But I mean, I think with the way the Proteas are at the moment, I mean, a 1-0 series, a 1-1 series wouldn't be such a bad thing as well. But yeah, I'd love to take this 1-0. I'm still going with my heart here and saying 1-0 to the Proteas, because I think our bowling lineup is superb.
Not to play devil's advocate, but if both pitches are dry, I wouldn't be surprised if the result went the other way around, or it would still be drawn series. So I think let's just hope that both pitches are green, and then we can win both of them 2-0. I think that's my final take on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to see that grass. As I said, I like to see that grass on those wickets, and that's really going to excite the likes of Rabada and Gidi. I mean, I'd love to have Nokia on this pitch, because I think Nokia would have been a menace. I think Nokia would have been a menace in New Zealand. I'm backing this bowling attack. I think this bowling attack is well balanced, and they can get the job done. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's pretty much a wrap, and we'll catch up soon.
Cheers. Enjoy your weekend, Sid, and chat to you soon.
Yeah, man. Enjoy the IPL auction.
Cheers, eh? Yeah, absolutely. Cheers.